What's up, y'all? Cecil West, Beyond the Harmony, with, of course, the one and only.
Oh, this is John Lippy.
And this is your Bone Question of the Day. And this today is a question that I ask all the time. And John just never really talks to me about this. So this is finally my way to put him on the spot. It's even a two-parter today. The two-part question. You ready?
I'm ready. Bring it on. Beat me up.
Today, I want to know, was the first Busy Bone verse on the song Strictly for My Grind a diss to Death Row? And do you believe that it was a reference track that was written and recorded for the late, great Eazy?
And I'm going to say this. This isn't even the first, second, or even third time he's asked me this before, and I've always just kind of shoved it off, and I'm going to try to shove it off again, but I got a few things to say on it.
I can tell you why I'm asking this first, if you want me to do that, because I got the ammo in the chamber.
Okay, lay it on me.
Okay, so we know this song to be, relatively unreleased. I mean, I think it's on that Boss Hog fucking grind or whatever the fuck, Boss Hog Outlaw, some shit like that.
I think it was like Space Hog, right?
Yeah, okay. So, and I know that this song, like, no one heard this song for a long time, and then it was all the way, it's all of a sudden out. So, on it, you got two Busy Bone verses. Okay, that alone, maybe that's not enough to just, like, go whatever. It is strange that Busy Bone raps pretty fucking different on each verse. And you got a Flesh and Bone verse, and you got a Crazy verse, and you got a Lazy Bone verse. So you got verses by them all. But you got two Busy Bone verses. And in the first Busy Bone verse, he says interesting things like sipping on gin, fuck juice. And then he also says Eazy on that gank move, and in the way he says it, it sounds like he's talking about himself when he raps it. It doesn't sound like he's talking about Eazy. It sounds like he's proclaiming it, like Eazy on that gank move. Okay. There's also, let's see. Oh, he goes, no need to bow. We say fuck you now. Bow down.
That was West Side Connection, right? So, and West Side Connection. I never even
I guess.
thought about.
Yeah.
I never even thought about what label West Side Connection was on, but yeah. But although Ice Cube.
But that's true. I guess he wouldn't have. Well, no, because he could have been doing that, right? Well, was Bow Down? When did Bow Down come out?
I'm saying 95, but I could be wrong. But I do remember me and 808 Pimp bumping Bow Down when we come to your town.
Let's take a look. Okay.
It might have been 96.
Bow Down came out October of 96.
Wow. Okay.
So, I would say that see? Okay, so that part we're going to say isn't about them. But with those things, and picture the way Busy's rapping this first. And now try to picture Eazy rapping it. Now, the only thing that I'll say that kind of throws this off is he says at the end, flip the script, slipped a little rip and set trick. And of course, the rip part, he's the little ripster. So that sounds like he could possibly be talking about Busy Bone. But the rest of it, if you picture Eazy rapping this and think about it, it's a Bone song. It's dated for that 94, 95 time period. All the Bone members are on it. It wouldn't have made sense to give Busy Bone two verses back then. This is early on, that shit wouldn't be weird or unheard of now. Back then, that would have been very weird and unheard of. You got a couple jabs at, Death Row, at least one. And it's known Eazy didn't write his shit. the DOC had written verses for him before, even reference tracks. So when I listen to that first Busy verse, and then I listen to the second Busy verse, which definitely sounds Busy Bone-ish, I think this first verse was made for the one and only Eazy-E.
Yeah, I'd agree with it, especially knowing that Tretch did the a lot of ghostwriting for Eazy-E on 5150, especially on Only If You Want It. You could definitely tell Tretch did that. And yeah, now that you bring up that Eazy-E on that gank move, I remember thinking in the back of my mind, like, Eazy-E, wait a minute, you're Busy Bone. So yeah, I could buy that.
Yeah, he proclaims it like it's proclaimed like that, and again, it sounds like Busy, like you can take it as a Busy verse, but in your mind, if you picture Eazy saying, "Yo, Busy, yo, write me something cold," and Busy just wrote that, he was new to it, so he would have written it with Eazy in mind, but he really only knew how to rap as Busy, so it's still gonna have those Busy elements. And I also base this off that new clip. If you listen to that Mr. Bill Collector Eazy-E clip that's out there, Eazy-E, CPT, like he's rapping like Bone. That wasn't in Eazy-E's fucking arsenal. Bone obviously had some help, inputted there. So if you can look at Mr. Bill Collector from that mindset of that wasn't really Eazy-E style, and realize that Bone must have assisted him, then the thought of Busy Bone making that first verse makes sense, and it would make sense that it was a little jabs towards Death Row, because it's Eazy saying it, not Busy.
And with reference tracks, this just made me think of this. It's not Bone related, but it is kind of. When I spoke to Mr. Servon on the phone all those years ago, he told me that he did the reference track for "I'm About It" by Master P. And he said that Master P just rapped over his reference track, and it became like one of the biggest No Limit tracks of all time. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what Mr. Servon told me on the phone. And
I mean,
so,
it's highly known that a lot of the big moguls, Puff Daddy, Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, Master P, that Dr. Dre, they have people that write a lot of shit for them. A lot of verses get written for these guys, almost like their star power is bigger. It's almost like, wow, my star power exceeded my mic talent, so they needed somebody to do that. Like, think of Eazy-E. We talked about this. Eazy-E on Neighborhood Sniper. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Is what's happening?
Yeah.
You didn't want to hear that like that. And that almost sounded like Eazy-E just making his own effort at.
Yeah, it was so bad it was good. Like the first time hearing it, I'm like, oh, this is really bad. But then, like, when you get over how bad it is, you're like, wow, it's so bad that it's actually good in a weird way. But yeah, now see, there's some guys that should have a ghostwriter, and other guys should be ghostwriting for others. And we were talking about Poetic Hustlers the other day, and I think Boogie Nights' voice is so awesome, but like some of his lyrical content, I kind of wish he had a ghostwriter, because I think he would have become, he might have become as big as Bone, in my opinion. I mean, it's just a what if hypothetical, but some guys you wish they had a ghostwriter, and other guys you're like, wow, good thing. Like in the case of Eazy-E, every time he's been ghost written for, it's turned out to be pretty good.
Yeah. So, that's what I think. I'm glad to see that we were finally able to talk about this, and maybe I was just able to sway it just a little bit in your mind, that this is possible. People believe that song was going to end up on Eternal. It sounds more creeping on a come up to me. But either way, I think that shit was for Eazy motherfucking E, and it just didn't get, he didn't end up recording it and that's the way it's sat. So that is your bone question of the day today, guys. Was the first verse by Busy on Strictly for My Grind a diss to Death Row? And was it a reference track that was written and recorded for the one and only Eazy? Drop your answer in the comments below. Don't forget, like, subscribe, Beyond the Harmony, beyondtheharmony.com. Share this with another Bone fan, and we'll catch you next time.
Beyond the harmony, for the fans we celebrate.